Welcome to the Rhoda Wilson Show, keeping you informed, entertained, and educated. My name is Rhoda Wilson. I'm truly excited about this new series because we've got wonderful individuals across the communities talking about wealth, health, businesses, the environment, and also we have a wonderful and new segment within this new series called The Kitchen. So I hope you stay with us throughout the series. And my guest today is Lisa Newton. She established a business with £150, startup capital, age 23 in 2004. In the same month, she graduated from City University with a master's in investment management. She now runs a successful bookkeeping company called Boogles. Is that correct, Lisa?
Yes, Boogles.
And she has recently been nominated, or shortlisted, if I may say, for a few awards. Lisa, welcome to the Rhoda Wilson Show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you, Lisa.
Thank you.
You make booking sound so desirable and sexy, man. I tell you, girl, I want to do bookkeeping now. So, Lisa, I mean, investment management and then bookkeeping, two different industries?
Yes. Well, what it was is I read a book a while ago called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, yes.
And he talks about if you want to be rich, you have to learn how to be a business owner and or an investor. And two of the things that he says are really useful subjects to study is the law, to know how the law works, and accounting, to be able to read the numbers on a business sheet. So I did my first degree in accounts with marketing, and then I thought, okay, so investment management would be a useful subject because you need to learn about investing. So I did that for a year, and then when I finished that, I thought, I really actually enjoyed doing the accounting more. And so I started off life as a bookkeeper, self-employed, built up a few clients, doing a few things here and there. And then as time went on, even though I was studying to be a chartered accountant, I realised that there was actually quite a need for bookkeepers. Everyone seems to want to, you know, be the accountant, the person at the top, if you like.
Signing up the accounts and things like that.
Whereas people who, I just think, do the donkey work, but at the same time are a very, very valuable part of the whole operation. If you have a good bookkeeper, the work that your accountant has to do is a lot less. And so because of this need in the market, I thought, you know, I'm just going to stick with the bookkeeping and expand that. And then
just before we go further into it, Lisa, just for some of the audience at home who doesn't understand what bookkeeping is, just give us just a brief, really.
Well, bookkeeping is
I suppose the process.
More receipts, bank statements, sending invoices, possibly depending on the type of business, credit control. So it's really tracking the money, tracking the receipts, tracking where the money comes into the business and goes out of the business. So it's financial administration almost.
So if I'm a small business, like I go do my shopping and I have all these receipts, rather than give it to my accountant, I can give it to a bookkeeper like yourself.
And it's actually a lot cheaper to do that and more efficient for a business, because although an accountant will take it, they will charge you a lot more to sort it out. And it's not actually what you should be using your accountant for. Your bookkeeper can sort out all of your receipts, get it neat and tidy, put it onto your computerized software, and an accountant would then take that information and perhaps either run management reports off that or prepare your final year-end accounts from that information. So when people talk about shoebox accounting, that means literally all your receipts are in a shoebox and you give it to your accountant. Ideally, you should give the shoebox to your bookkeeper, allow the bookkeeper to sort it out, and then give it to the accountant. Honestly,
ladies and gentlemen, I actually give my accountant receipts in shoe boxes. So I have been to him and I've given a big one, big clack one. I said, there you go, you just sort it out. But then if I knew you guys existed, I would have forget my accountant and actually come straight to you, Lisa, you know? So tell us a bit more about your company. I'm really excited to hear more.
Well, Boogles, the name, it was a name that I had in mind from about, I have to say, the age of about 10, 11. And I thought, when I, start my company, I'm going to call it Boogles. And I always knew, that's what I was going to do. I was going to run a business, and I wanted a name that didn't mean anything, so that, if one day I want to go into planes, trains, mobile phones, whatever have you, it's a name that I can take with me.
Because of this business you set up now, which you now have around 20 staff,
20
is that
staff,
correct?
yeah.
You've actually been nominated.
Yes. In the past, we've won 2 awards.
Really? Tell us about it.
One was the Precious Online Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2007 in November. And then we also won an award for being an enterprise business from West Focus. That was in February 2008. And then the 2 awards that we're nominated for at the moment is the Women on Their Way Awards for the best SME business. And then another one is the Women of Worth Awards, which is Businesswoman of the Year. So,
wow, well, Lisa, well, respect, girl, respect. Oh, that is wonderful. How do you feel, though, being nominated like this? Did you ever imagine when you went into it that your work would be recognized? Because this is what it is, recognition.
Absolutely. It's lovely to be recognized, I have to say, because, you know, you put in a lot of hours when you're running your own business. I mean, I'd say for the first 3 years, I worked from home. And I'd say at least once a week, if not twice, I would be working literally through the night because there was so much to do. And the thing is, when you're running your own business, if you don't do it, then it won't get done. If it's on your to-do list, you either have to delegate it or do it.
Yeah,
and so it's a lot of hard work. And so to be recognised is wonderful, really. It's really nice.
Oh, but that's good. I mean, Lisa, we were also talking about the way you started, because your mom actually helped you.
Yes. Well, no, it began with £150. I put in £100 from my student overdraft, and my mum put in £50. And in the beginning, my mum would help me with the leafleting and making phone calls when we had to market the business and just, you know, tell people we do bookkeeping. If you need your books doing, come to us.
No, but that's good, because Lisa, not only, I mean, this bookkeeping business has actually helped you to branch into other areas as well. I know you were talking about greater dreams you have for Bogos, but currently you're achieving certain dreams like the money column you write.
Yes. Following on from winning the award, Precious asked us to do their money column. So I write a money column called Money Talks with Lisa, and
where would the audience be able to pick this up?
It's on www.preciousonline.co.uk.
Okay.
And it's a money column that has, you know, has different tips on money and
such as? Well,
one was 10 ways to beat the recession, or 10 recession busting ways to, you know, keep ahead of things. Sort of tips, really. And sometimes it's just the topic of money in general, because I think it's quite a taboo subject in many ways. A lot of people don't like talking about it. They think it shouldn't be spoken about.
But now everybody's talking about it with the credit crunch and the fact that the bankers are all, you know, well, they blame the bankers, but I'm sure there are other people to be blaming this.
Yes, but I think what it is, the whole process of lending people money and debt has completely got out of hand. And we're in a bit of a mess, I think, because it was slightly to do with greed, but, you know, we had a very long period of time whereby we were able to borrow money very cheaply. And all the banks followed suit, as people always do, and they just started lending more and more, particularly on mortgages. And then it came to a point whereby, you know, at some point in the chain, someone has to pay for that mortgage.
That's correct, yeah.
So you can't just keep on buying and selling houses in an economy and not have any other form of sort of income or money coming in. And then as soon as the defaults start happening, it just seems to just not stop. And people keep talking about these things called toxic assets, which is basically bad debts that need to be written off because you're not seeing that money again. And that's where the banks are at the moment. They've got that figure as money that they've lent out on their balance sheet as being an asset, when an asset is something that, you know, you're going to get back, you're going to be able to realise one day.
Or it's something you can feel. I mean, when I did accountancy course, they always say assets, you make sure you feel the asset. If you can't feel it, then it's intangible asset. You know, so therefore, as you rightly pointed out, many of these banks. But also, I feel that, you know, many years ago, we used to have recession every 5 years.
Yes.
Isn't that correct? But this last
Yeah.
10 years, we've just had continuous growth.
Absolutely.
And the market hasn't been allowed to correct itself.
Oh, yes.
So as a result of that, it's kind of gone on and on and on and on, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And I think that particularly depending on what sort of generation you're from, a lot of people who are sort of new to working, let's say maybe the past 10 years or so, haven't really experienced what it's like to either, I'd say, go without or, you know, wait until you saved up for it. And you just think that, you know, the good times are always here and that it's always like this.
Now we're going to take a break, so please do not go away.